U.S. Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner met with his Chinese counterpart, Vice Premier Wang Qishan. The two discussed U.S.-Sino economic ties. Neither side, though, would confirm if the men talked about the Chinese currency, but many believe that Geithner's last-minute trip was aimed at narrowing differences between Washington and Beijing. Many U.S. politicians and economists think that the Chinese government keeps its currency artificially cheap. Geithner's meeting comes just days after the Treasury delayed a report that could label China a currency manipulator. One prominent China watcher says that label is something that China wants to avoid.
And China does not want to be labeled as a currency manipulator. If that happens, China will not only be very much grieved upon, but also will have to take retaliatory actions in response to such a very wrongful act by the United States. Therefore, I think the visit by Secretary Geithner will help each other to exchange views and also allow us to come up with a mutually acceptable method going forward. I think the ultimate goal of full convertibility of the renminbi yuan and the market readjustability of the renminbi yuan will be achievable.
There's a growing belief that China is willing to return to a currency regime from 2005 when it allowed the yuan to move 2% and trade in a wider band. The speculation now is that a move could come as early as the next several days. Nothing has been confirmed, but indications are that the Chinese are reviewing their policies. Former Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson, who was also in China this week, weighed in on the yuan debate in an interview with Chinese broadcaster CCTV. Paulson suggested a change to China's currency rate would likely have more to do with domestic economic concerns rather than international pressure.
The point I always made was for China to do something, it's got to be in China's best interest. And I believed it was in China's best interest. And I sometimes described the disagreement that we had was not one of direction, but it was one of timing.
Chinese policymakers have been debating the merits of a more flexible, possibly stronger currency. The argument is that an appreciation of the yuan could help ease pressure in the Chinese economy, helping officials manage rising inflation and encouraging Chinese consumers to spend more. Eunice Yoon, CNN, Hong Kong.